Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation reads like this: Hello brother Nanshi, please post for me as anonymous. So in my life I have come to believe that there is that Shona proverb that says the ancestors will not give you the gift of wealth twice. Now I believe that this proverb, indeed, it is nothing but the truth, for the ancestors will never give you the gift of wealth twice. They will only give you this gift only once in your lifetime. And it is all up to you how you will use this gift of wealth that they would have given to you. So it happened that I came here to South Africa. At that time when I came here to South Africa, I was staying in Johannesburg with my wife. And back home, I was working as a driver, and I really had a very good CV. At that time, when I came to South Africa, there was a very high demand for truck drivers here in South Africa. Most of the people who used to drive these trucks, they were white guys and guys from Zambia. It took me only about a day for me to find a job as a truck driver in a well-paying company. Life changed for me overnight, from being someone who was just an unemployed man to now having a well-paying job. Back home in Zim, I never had the opportunity to have a bank account, but after that company had processed the papers for me, I was now able to go and open up a bank account for myself in my name. Indeed, these were quite exciting times for me. I was getting a lot of money. Let me say that I was getting paid by the Lord. So, like a cow that was coming from a place without good grazing land and entering into an area where the grass all over was all green, I then took the opportunity to work with both hands. I would work without a break. Sometimes I would only visit my wife once a month and I would rush back to work. The reason why I was never at home, it was because I was being paid by the Lord. So for me to get a lot of extra money after my basic salary, I needed to do a lot of loads, and that company used to get lot of loads. So whenever my boss will request me to go and deliver, I will never complain. I was always on the road earning a lot of money. As for my wife, my brother, to be honest with you, when I got married to her, whilst we were still in Zim, she was not my choice. I did not marry my wife because I loved her, but in Zim, I was just a poor man. So at that time when I was just a poor man, I then reached a point in my life where I told myself that I am now older, I should have a wife. And when I looked at my situation, how poor I was, there was no woman who was willing to become my wife, because women and poverty, they do not go together. I then said to myself that anyone who will say yes to me, even if that woman has a disability or even if they are ugly as hell, I do not care, as long she is a woman. I then told myself that it is far much better to share a bed with a woman that you think she is ugly than to sleep on a cold bed all alone. So I said, any woman that will say yes, I would marry her immediately. At that time when I came across my wife, I never looked at her twice. I just said, since she has agreed to get in this relationship with me, and she seemed so desperate, and at that time she was the only one who said yes, she wanted to get in a relationship with me. But when I would look at her, I would see that this one, she is not my type. But since I was poor, I just took her in as my wife. When I was now in South Africa, all of a sudden, I was earning money by the bucket load. I then saw that indeed my wife, she was not my type. She was never my type. Let truth be told. My type, my brother, was a light-skinned Tosa woman, and at that time I was not apologetic about it. The first time that I set my eyes on a Tosa woman, I then knew that indeed my type was supposed to be a light-skinned, beautiful Tosa woman. When I finally got a Tosa girlfriend, I then hated my wife. To me, she was now more like a reject or pure rubbish. Along the way, there was this other Xhosa traffic officer. She was a woman. She was very beautiful and she was my type. Each and every time that I would see her at the weighbridge, I would spoil her with a lot of gifts. I used to give that woman a lot of money each and every month, and I would make sure that I keep some money for her so that I can shower her with a lot of gifts. I spent so much money on that woman that on the day that she said that she can't date me because she is a married woman, I felt so heartbroken and I felt so disappointed. But one day she then called me and she asked me to take her out. So me and her, we went out. The day that we went out just to have some fun, I looked at her and I saw that indeed she was really beautiful. So what I used to do is that whenever I'll be at home with my wife, when we were about to make love, for me to enjoy making love to my wife, what I will do is that I would imagine as if I was making love to that traffic officer, so that I can enjoy. Whilst we were having our dinner, we spoke about our relationship, but as for her, she didn't want to be more open with me. It was as if she was attracted to the money that I had because I kept on giving her a lot of money. So she didn't want to throw me to the side. She just wanted me to become her best friend. She then felt sorry for me and she said that she had her own younger sister, which was beautiful as she was. And I was really happy when she showed me her little sister's pictures because she was twice as beautiful as she was. Her little sister was in Eastern Cape at that time. So she told me that since I was now dating a little sister, it was my responsibility to make sure that I give her the money so that she can send it to her little sister so that I can be able to meet up with her sister physically. I then gave her transport money without ever complaining. When her little sister came, I then started renting for her. But my God, this girl, she was so expensive to maintain. I don't know how many times that she lied to me that she was pregnant. At that time, my brother, as someone who was a married man, I had never came across this thing of family planning implant, that thing that they call Jadel. That girl, I used to touch her all over her body. Then I would see that on her left hand, she had something that I could feel. But at that time, I didn't know that the thing that I could feel on her left arm, it was a family planning implant called Jadel. I only discovered after me and her had broken up. That girl, my brother, she used to confuse me a lot. Each and every time when we would be in bed, there were sounds that she used to make in her Tosa language, and that sound, it used to confuse me a lot, so much that I would spend a lot of money on her. Whenever I would be home away on the road just working, whenever I would think of the sounds that she used to make in her own Tosa language, it used to confuse me a lot, but it will give me the energy to keep on working so that I can be able to maintain here. So what I will do is that each and every month, and when I would go back home there in Joburg, where I was staying with my wife at that time, I would then give her only the basic salary. Sometimes I would lie to my wife that throughout the month we were not doing any loads that were long distance. That was why I had only came back home with just a basic salary. All of the extra money that I was getting at work, which was a lot of money, I would take it to my Tosa girlfriend, my brother. But this girl, she was so expensive to maintain. When I saw that this girl, she was too expensive to maintain and I had fallen so deep in love with her, that was when I started to steal diesel from the truck. Later on, I started to steal tires from the same truck that I was driving. This is how I started to steal diesel from the truck that I was driving. There was this other time that I met these other guys. Then they told me that they could offer me a deal if I was willing to sell them some of the diesel that would be in the diesel tank. It was fine with me. So here and there, we used to drain about 20 liters from the tank. Here and there, I'll be draining a lot of diesel from the tank of the truck that I was driving. Then I will resell that diesel diesel to those guys. Then, my brother, they told me that even if I wanted, what we will do is that they will give me some old tires, then I will sell them the brand new tires that will be on the truck or on the trailer. This is what I used to do, my brother. Me and those guys, we used to communicate. Then we will find a spot where we could meet. Then those guys will be driving in front. Then I'll be following them with the truck at the back. In those days, this thing of truck tracking, it was not very popular. Very few trucks still had GPS on them. So what we will do is that those guys will lead me to this other company that used to fix tires. So I will go there, then I'll park my truck there as if I had taken the truck there so that the wheels on the trailer or on the tractor can be replaced. Then they will remove most of the tires that were still brand new on the tractor or on the truck's trailer. Then they will replace them with very old tires. This is what they used to do. Then they will resell those tires again on the market. Then, my brother, all the money that I was getting from the side hustles, I'll make sure that I maintain my Xhosa girlfriend, because she was someone who really hated cooking. Whenever I'll be with her, we used to survive on fast foods. We used to order a lot of takeaways like KFC, Debonias, Galitos, and stuff like that. When the year ended, that was when I got a bountiful bonus from my boss, because he had seen that I was quite a hard worker. So when it was bonus time, he told me that he wanted to give me a lot of money. This thing, my brother, whenever I think about it, it breaks my heart, because that guy that I was working with, the one who was from Zambia, when he got his bonus, what he did is that he took his wife, then they went back to Zambia. And at the time when they went back to Zambia, he had purchased a brand new car. But as for me, with all of the bonus that was given to me, I did nothing with that bonus. I took all of that bountiful bonus and I gave it all away to my Xhosa girlfriend. When I came back home to my wife, all that I had was a small ShopRite shopping bag that only had some fruits and a small fruit juice. All the money, my brother, was gone. Then I lied to my wife, but still that Tosa girlfriend of mine, she still wanted more from me, even though I had given her all the money that I had. So we started fighting over the phone, and she was really stressing me. You know, if you are stressed by someone that you truly loved, you end up not knowing what to do. So the more that she insulted me over the phone, telling me that our relationship was over because I could not take care of her, that was when I decided to communicate with my boss. After I had communicated with my boss, I told him that throughout the festive season, there was nothing for me to do. So all that I wanted was for him to create some space for me so that I can return back to work, because I didn't want to rest. But my brother, the truth of the matter was that all that I wanted to do was to hustle for my Xhosa girlfriend, because at that time she had told me that she wanted a new BlackBerry phone, and if I was not going to buy her that BlackBerry, she was not going to dump me. But in the past few months, my brother, I had actually bought her a brand new BlackBerry, but still she was not okay with it. She wanted a brand new one. When I returned back to work, I then spoke with my guys, those ones that I used to resell the diesel that was in my truck to. I planned with them, and we planned for a place for us to meet, so that by the time that I'll be parked there, then we can start draining diesel from the truck. But what had happened is that my boss, I think that for a very long time, he had found me to be so suspicious, even though I was really a hard worker. What he did is that he then sent someone who was following me behind, and he was undercover, and that is how I got fired. When we were busy draining the diesel, this is when we saw a car that suddenly parked at the place where I was parking. Then there is a guy who came out of the car, then started taking some pictures and sent those pictures to our boss. That is how I got fired. fired my brother. Whenever I think about my story and the way that I am living right now, I can now see that even though I had the opportunity to become a millionaire, but I simply blew it, because in the end, when she found out that now I was unemployed, she dumped me, my brother. Hey, dear listeners, right there was a message that I received from our dear brother, who is saying that I could have been a millionaire when I arrived in South Africa because I was earning a lot of money, but I blew it. Strange things do happen in this world.